Hi! Yeah!
Rub the hand.
Yes. Listen, man, there's only one way. Wait there. Yeah. There's only one way to start this show. And we start it, as always, with the magical words. Dream it, believe it, but most of all, become it.
Come on down.
Spencer Rankin. How you doing, mate?
I'm very good. Yeah, man. I'm very good. Had a wonderful evening yesterday. Dame Dash, the music mogul, says that he listens to The Fight Is Right. If anybody knew, me and Tunde were going to do the fight along, watch along for the fight that didn't happen yesterday. Like Dame Dash's people contacted us for us to come and do it, but alas, I wasn't going to disturb Tunde anyway because he's in fight mode because Anti-Yard is fighting next month. I'm so looking forward to that in Telford on the 19th of November. I'm expecting another devastating performance from AY. We shall continue to speak about this in later times. I know Tunde's on serious fight mode as the fight's been coming on because he's been more touchy than a woman being impregnated and doesn't know who the baby daddy is. So then, yeah. So therefore, I'm looking forward to this fight. I want to thank all of you guys who always support the show, who always Snapchat, who always like and subscribe, who always spread out the message because the show's too big, right? Absolutely. And it's only going to get bigger. And the next thing, for all these people with their negativity, we use your negativity as helium because our balloon is on the rise. Come on. Dream it, believe it, become it. Lions in the camp. Thank you very much for blessing us already with £4.49. You've both been everywhere last week. TalkSport, Daily Mail. Everyone's quoting the show. Jesus Christ! As
yes, Bobby B. Old type Bobby, right? It's all fun. This is serious. And before we get into it, we are gonna put up a StreamYard link for the guests, for the viewers to really have their say on what really is the only topic in boxing right now. And can I just say that this particular episode, I'm doing it with a heavy heart because I'm not really happy about it, you know. One, because it involves two young men who, you know, are professional boxers. You know, boxing is my sport. I say boxing is my sport. Boxing is the sport that I love. It's a sport that changed my life. It's the sport that has changed many people's lives for the better. And so I'm not one of those people who has ever, nobody has ever heard me say boxing is a dirty sport, because I would be a hypocrite to say that. How am I going to call something dirty and it's what pays my bill? But if I don't like it, I get out of it. So I'm not one of them people who will say boxing is a dirty sport. Just like life is polarity. And so you have good and bad in everything. Unfortunately or fortunately, we've had a situation over the past few days which has really blackened the sport, but at the same time...
Why is it blackened the sport?
Wait. At the same time, it's saved the sport, because there could have been a disaster on Saturday night, and it's better to be safe than sorry. So we're gonna have a few guests on this evening, but Spencer, really touch on. Let's go into this whole Conor Benn, CHRIS EUBANKS saga, because that's what it's become. It's become a saga. It's not. This ain't normal. This ain't normal. You know, we were all looking forward to this fight, as you said. We were about to do, which I believe would have been the biggest watch along that we've ever had on The Fight Is Right. And it's all come to a shambles. So Spence, touch on it. Tell us what has been going on in these last couple of days, what you've heard, who you've spoken to. Just break it down, Spence.
You know what, Ton? we were blessed enough to get a statement from CHRIS VAN Senior last week, which we read on when we were so blessed also to have our friend Johnny Nelson, former world cruiserweight champion, on our show. And everybody was concerned about the weight of, and Tun, I sent you the picture of Chris Eubank Jr. on the scales, even though he made the weight. That didn't look right to me.
He never looked healthy at all.
Right, that didn't look right to me. When we watched the public weigh-in prior to, what was that? Not the public weigh-in, the public workout.
Yes.
2 days before, which was on a Thursday, and I was on the phone to Baba Tunde Ajayi. And the thing about, I'll tell you the good thing about when you're speaking to a fellow former professional and a participant in the sport now, because he hasn't left the sport because he's training and managing. We look for key signs of strength and also weakness. And there is nothing when it comes to these kind of things when Tony would tell me, like, this brother look weak, or this brother look strong, that I rarely disagree with. And that's because he who has eyes will see. But this has taken more than 1,000 hours. When they say, like, oh, to become an expert in something, it takes 1,000 hours.
10,000 hours.
10,000. Well, if it's 10,000, I've done a lifetime. I couldn't give you the hours of how much I've studied boxing.
Yes, sir.
Right? So when people are saying like 10,000 hours, I know I could equate more than 10,000 days of sitting down and watching. So these men who were bigging up this fight, JD Dyer, have to big up JD Dyer, because for the simple fact that everyone, they're playing the recording of him and Conor Benn when he was speaking to Conor Benn a few years ago now, when Big Baby Miller got busted for drugs, and they asked Conor, and Conor said, like, why would you throw away something so big and all the rest of it. Number one is this: I'm not here to condone or condemn Conor Benn. What will happen is what will happen. I'm saying, like, if your intentions are true, then let you be judged truthfully, and if they were bad, let you be judged truthfully. So I'm not here to judge Conor Benn. The jury's out on him right now because, unfortunately, he's failed a test. Monty Singh, thank you very much for the £10. Easy, guys. Evening. A lot of if buts regarding Conor Benn's situation. Promoters pushed the fight, didn't get it. Dr. Usman saga, bar the fighters and trainers and promoters, and all dodgy. It's wealth over health. And it seems like these people were looking at wealth over health because the British Board of Control, go on, sir.
1 minute there. Monty Singh, how can you I feel like you've gone a bit too far there, because you're saying the fighters, the trainers, the promoters are all dodgy. Bro, I'm a trainer. I'm a trainer. Tony Sims, this isn't my business. Tony Sims is a trainer. Now, I don't know the man like that, but I've watched Tony's journey. From me and him was sitting down in one little hotel and he was doing a corner. I forgot what fight it was, but this was years ago. This is years before. And
Andy Lowe.
Trainers are dodgy.
It was Andy Lowe.
Huh?
It was Andy Lowe he was training at that time.
Andy Lowe, yeah. Oh, right, yeah, Andy Lowe. But I'm saying, bro, you can't, Monty, come on, man. You can't just give the jury out on everybody like that. You can't just say the trainer, because Tony Sims, I'll be very shocked. And let me tell you, I can't speak for another man 100%, but I'll go as so far to say 99.9%. Tony Sims did not know nothing about this. So brother, maybe you never meant nothing about it, but you can't just say trainers are fighters. And even the fighters, yes, we know that people should be aware of what they put into their bodies. But once you allow certain people to come in your camp, just because of hearsay, oh, he may have worked with another man.
He's corrected himself to bar trainers, I'm saying.
Oh,
right?
Cool. You understand? Bro, I'm not just going to make man just talk the thing. Sorry.
Sorry. Bar the fighters, trainers. Yeah.
Hold on, what do you mean bar? Hold on, let me read the thing again. Okay, bar the fighters, trainers, promoters are all dodgy. See, money. That's how you know I'm in fight mode. Because, bro, I'm like, what am I reading now? All right, cool. If you're saying bar the promoters and fighters, Spencer already told you from the top of the show, I'm touchy because I'm in a fight mode already. But anyway, I'm going to move on swiftly because money never said that. Okay, cool. Right. Moving forward, we are at a situation now where an A sample has been found to be positive. Now, Spencer, everyone's talking about the B sample. In your expert opinion and in your history in the sport, how many times, if ever, has there been a situation where a B sample has come back different from the A sample?
Never ever in professional boxing. I think it's happened twice in athletics. Once in athletics, twice in cycling. But in professional boxing, Tunde, never ever has that happened.
Wow.
Never ever. And then also you got to see what was inside the sample, which was given by Conor Benn. So what was given in the sample of Conor Benn? It's a female fertility drug for women finding it difficult to get pregnant. But inside the drug, what's this? Thank you very much for the £5 again, Monty. You're saying Spencer, read it right, bro. I'm feeling Tunde's rough. Come on now, bro. What are you talking about? Tunde just read it. We've been chatting for you. Thank you very much. Listen, bro. Money. You're on. Maybe it was a typing error. Miss Ringside, thank you very much for the $8.99.
Wait, Spencer. Hold on. 1 minute, Spence. Please, you see me here. I'm not a man who's strong and wrong. Please, Monty, please forgive me. Cause I just saw trainers, fighters, and I'm like, bro, I need to out this brother quickly. Sorry. I need to make my point quickly. But I heard what you said, Monty. Please forgive me. Please
Big up, Monty, because you're always supporting the show. Miss Ringside, thank you again for the $8.99. Spencer, do you think EUBANK Senior knew something before, and hence the fact that he had asked to boycott the fight? You know what? That's a kind of strong thing that you're saying here, you know? And so what do you think? What do you think, Ton?
Well, listening to your conversation with Chris Senior, I don't actually think that he did know. What he was aware of was the fact that at the age of 33 years old, fighting at a weight that you've never ever done or...
Tunde, 1 second, sir. 1 second. On the phone right now is the legendary Chris EUBANK Senior. We speak. How are you, sir?
Excellent. Thank you. Very good. So, yeah. How long do you need to speak for?
Maybe 2 minutes, sir. I don't want to keep your time. I know you're very busy. You're in sunny South Africa with your beautiful wife. I don't want to keep you.
That's very kind of you. Yes. When it's, daylight, it is sunny. It is beautiful, wonderful, wonderful. South Africa is our home.
Yes, sir.
And you should all come and see how magnificent it is, and it's your inheritance.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So, Mr. English, a lot of people with everything that you turned around and you said when you gave me the statement to read out on the show, which I did. Thank you very much for blessing the Fight Is Right with your statement, and that went viral. When you said about you not wanting your son to participate in this contest, we had Miss Ringside just ask the question. As she asked the question, I thought I would have to go straight to the horse's mouth, and that is the king in you, sir. And did you know anything prior about this, or you just wasn't happy about the weight situation?
I made it very clear 3 months ago that this fight isn't going to happen because he's my son. I've got to protect him. These people are attempting to murder that boy. And it's clear to me, but it's not to anybody else. If you're a fighter, if you've lived the life of a fighter, if you know what it is to lose weight, my son's been protected, and I've brought him up good in boxing. But, he doesn't want to listen. He wants to be the boss. And so I said, go ahead. I don't think you should have the fight. I think, you get the same money for fighting Liam Smith. Then you have Billy Joe Saunders. Then you have Canelo. That's your career. And these guys you can beat because you're a magnificent fighter. But unfortunately, Junior doesn't understand, doesn't believe in me. I believe in him, but he doesn't believe in me. And sadly, it's come to the point where, when you no longer care, it means, I've let go. He's, he manages himself and he looks after himself, and I say, fine. I've done nothing but gift this young man a career, a name, a face. The respect that I garnered from all those years, those 24 World Championship fights. Never mind the wins, just look at the losses. Look at the man that I had to be. And then what? I'm going to have my boy tell me how to do this? He's going to tell me he's the boss? No, he just doesn't appreciate how good things have always been. But, by the by now, and, I go and put you, look, you see, you've got people that, you aspire to be like. He picked Floyd Mayweather Jr. because he shows the bling, he shows the planes, he shows the money. He shows the girls. He's got clubs. I admire the man. He is a brilliant and fabulous fighter. I admire him as a fighter. As a man, don't talk to me about him. That's not, no, Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, they're men. They lead by example. You're teaching my boy to be a bling bling kid. He's looking up to you, Mr. Mayweather. No. And so that's why he didn't listen. And now the world is looking at him as though he's a greedy little pig. And I tried to keep him away from that. But he wouldn't listen. And he said, yeah, I'll go feel. And I started off. Now, I think we've spoken just about 2 minutes. I have to get back to my...
I know you do, sir. Lastly, before you go, sir, you spoke to me about this before, and you were saying that you didn't believe that Conor Benn was trying to cheat.
Yes.
Would you just like to touch the Fighters Right, myself and Tun, on this one, please, sir?
Okay, when I look at a fighter, I look at the spirit in the man. Okay, Conor would have had no idea, in my view, of what they would suggest he should have. I've seen them do it. I've watched them. These are men who are going to be rooted out of this game because they're not fighters, they're PE teachers. I respect them, but not when they're harming fighters, because in my view, when I look at Conor Benn, that's a pure young man. And I said to him before, I said, don't do this. You've got a glittering career in front of you. You know, you can beat the Americans. Why don't we partner up? You know, our team against the American team. I spoke to him like a dad should speak to a son. You know, they're not like me. I told Nigel, don't come to these speaking engagements. You know, there's going to be too much pressure on you because you let them lead your son into a pit, a snare. That boy's clean. He's a clean man and a great fighter. But you have toddlers looking after us fighters, toddlers. These guys they call managers and promoters. These guys, I'm coming for you. Yeah, you try to murder my boys. I'm coming for you. Yeah. Right, sorry, Spencer, I got a little bit carried away.
Don't worry about that. Thank you so much. As you're speaking right, Chris, as you're speaking right now, Tunde's wiping tears from his eyes.
Another man's son. I know what weight. I know what 3 pounds beneath 160 when you're 33 years old. When you're 33 years old, to get down to 3 pounds beneath that middleweight limit, it's madness. But he won't listen. And I can't afford for him to feel I've already lost one son. It's not happening. And it didn't happen. Yeah. And I had very little to do with it. I will move on.
All right, sir.
People come, yes. Little more from them.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Chris. Big up from Tunde, big up from myself and all of the listeners of Fight Is Right. Thank you so much, Christopher Livingston EUBANK Senior.
Jesus Christ. Right,
We don't need to talk about the black book.
Spence, let me just move it. We're going to come back to that because that was too emotional. But and Chris made some serious statements there, powerful statements, and one which we're going to look back on in this show and later on. But without further ado, keeping in the same energy of this program, we're moving swiftly from one Chris. Oh, let me pick out the Snapchats which we missed because it was so. Oops, what have I done here? Oh my goodness, I've just messed my screen. Oh wait, I'm back. Yeah, we missed a few Snapchats. Let's go back just quickly.
Where'd you get the glasses from? They're Jibalo.
These are Gucci, mate.
Hold tight,
lads. Thank you for the 449. He says, salams. Feel like this should be private conversation between father and son, not in public. As a father, this is sad. Sorry. Well, let me tell you something. When you get things out, it actually empowers you more. So I don't think that. I think that he's actually releasing a lot of the pain by speaking out his truth publicly. The days of holding things in are over. This is how mental health occurs, and people end up jumping off of buildings and strangling themselves and taking drug overdoses. Talk the truth. Talk your thing. And don't be ashamed of it, because you never know who's listening. You never know, there may be a connection that brings the father and the son together, because both of them have too much egos. And I know there's a lot of people online now who are relating to me 100%. And I do hope that everybody hearing Chris EUBANK Sr., if you have a vendetta or a problem or an issue with a family member, a close friend, go and solve it, because life is too short. And we don't need this. We need people to heal their wounds. You don't want people to pass and then there's something that you left, something that you could have said which is going to affect you now. They're gone. So Chris VAN Senior, bear respect for that. And there's so much. I'm going to rewind this show about 100 times. So Naz, thank you again for the 179. He says, I feel EUBANK Senior's pain. There's a few more here.
Paul L. Finance.
Yeah, Paul L. Finance, thank you for the £10. He said, the public should not condemn Conor to the point where he gets suicidal. Very good, important point that is. I know he talks as if he's Rambo, but he is a kid, and the shame can push him over the edge. Proud of you, brothers. Peace. And believe me, that is so, so true. Let's not forget, we're dealing with a young man here. Thank you, Chuck, for the £5. He said, you two have been objective, direct, and principled in this conversation where others haven't. Your convo with Senior went beyond boxing. Thank you very much. And you know, when this thing happened, so many people tweeted the show, Instagram, both myself,
Bitches.
And no, wait, and asked us to comment on it. But we're like, we all had a round table conversation, myself, Gary, and Spencer. We said, nah, we're not. This ain't no gossip channel. We're not here to gossip. Let's just wait for a few facts come out because it's a legal minefield. Let's not forget that. Right now, this is a legal minefield, and we have to be mindful of how we're just being judge, jury, and prosecutor without the full evidence. We do know that Conor, one thing we do know factual, that he has failed the first drug test. Before I bring my next guest, because again,
wait, they got £20 in from Addy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Before we bring on our next guest, because we're very blessed to have this guest. Big up Addy, the man of the moment right now, Mr. The Zone himself. Bro, he's everywhere. Just remember who bless up the was it the green chair first? One of the first. I remember Addy saying I was one of the few people that he wanted to ever interview. So big up Addy. Thank you for your contribution. He said you two are incredible and important for all of us. Thank you very much, Addy.
Addy, bear rated. Addy's my guy. Got a lot of time for him. But Addy, you're a batio. You know why you're a batio? Because now you ain't asked me to come on the green chair. So when I see you, I'm gonna punch you in your face.
Well, Addy, you know that's what makes this channel the realest, because we're just real. Man, just talk the thing. But anyway, look,
big up Addy.
More money's coming in.
The real one.
And more money's coming in. And I want to bring this guy in because, again, we are so blessed to have this guy with us. But energy goes where energy flows. He said, thank you, £5. Thank you for the £5, Chuck. He says, you two have... Oh, yeah, I've read that. All right. Well, let's, without further ado, bring on a man that has not only had a great career thus far, because he ain't finished yet. He's still active, still chasing the big fights. Only big fights. We don't want no silly man down the road fighting for 50 quid or any of them, those silly little, we want big fights. This young brother has shared the ring with the likes of Jaron Innes, with the likes of Errol Spence Jr. Ladies and gentlemen, we introduce to The Fight Is Right a man who recently shared the ring with Conor Benn, the one, the only, the second Chris of the night, CHRIS VAN HEERDEN. Hi.
How you doing, Chris?
Gentlemen,
Yes,
gentlemen.
Wait, then, Chris, is that a submarine you got on there?
No.
What is it? What is it that you got on? What is it?
The shirt.
No, the watch.
Oh, it's a Rolex.
Yeah, Rolex submarine.
Yeah. Oh,
right?
it's a no.
Yeah,
My
Chris,
guy.
you got to excuse Spencer, because when he talks, when he does interviews, he always shows that he's got a Rolex on. That's how he talks.
I see, my guy, guy.
So when he sees another man,
what a
Rolex,
pleasure to be on the show, man.
Tunde, he's talking, man.
Anyway, go ahead.
What a pleasure to be on the show with you guys. I've been on here for about 10 minutes now. I'm inspired. It's so real. I mean, I've listened to you guys for 10 minutes, and the wisdom and the things you guys just dropped. Man, it hits hard. It hits deep, because it's true. You know, I wanted to chip in and just have shared my comments to everything you guys were talking, and especially Sorry for minding me just getting into this, but I feel, you know what I feel the most for right now? It is for Conor Benn.
Yes, sir.
Because people don't, I'm getting goosebumps. People don't understand how, this is a beautiful sport we're in. It's a beautiful sport, but it's also a very ugly and a lonely sport. And in times like what Conor Benn is facing right now, it is a thin line, man. It is a thin line because of the public. It is a thin line that you can become suicidal. It's a thin line, man. And I've, fuck, man. I want to get emotional. I didn't come in this show to get emotional, but I want to get emotional. I can't help it because I was there. I was there. I was suicidal. I was there after my loss to Errol Spence Jr. Keep in mind, I've never lost up till that fight. I always won. I beat Matthew Hatton on my last defense, the local boy from the UK, and that's why I got a lot of fans from the UK because of my win over Matthew. But I was also always so used to winning, and then I lost to Errol Spence. Like I got beat by Errol Spence fair and square. No excuses, and I suffered a loss. And the public, the fans, it's easy for a nobody that sits on a chair at home to write a message on social media that's negative. And we as fighters, we read that stuff. And
Yes.
even though we shouldn't even let that affect us because it's a guy sitting on a couch that's never been punched in his face, we cannot help it. But when we read something negative, it hits us. And when you read a lot of negative things like what's going on with Conor now, and I feel for him, it is easy for us to be affected. And I was suicidal. I was lonely, man. I was alone and I was suicidal. So I want to, yeah, man, thanks for bringing that up because you know what, man, like you said, as of what we know now, he failed the VADA test. So he's guilty. That's all we know. We can't jump to stuff, but it's out there. He failed. And I don't condemn that. And I don't approve of that. And if cheated, whatever, fair enough, pay the price. But we can't just jump to stuff. We can't just jump to stuff. I prayed for him last night. I prayed for Conor Benn last night because he's a brother. He's a fighter and he's got feelings and emotions. And people should be careful what they say.
Yes.
Very careful. So thank you for bringing that up.
Yes.
Man.
One of the questions I wanted to ask you, Chris, going into the fight, did you have anything?
None. No, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna sit here now and be one of the many guys that goes, I always suspected that, blah blah blah. You know what? No. You know why? Because I know who I am, and I know how much I respect the sport, and I'm a clean athlete, and following Conor Benn, I go in with the same mentality. He's a very fair man. He's a hardworking horse, and he respects the sports, and he wouldn't do something like that. So it wasn't even in my mind that Conor could be on something. That's why, I looked at it like this. I said, he's young. He's 25 years old. He's young. He's hungry. And that's where the passion and the drive and the hunger and the confidence comes from. It's because of that. So I honestly didn't expect anything.
Taking you back to the fight.
Which was in April this year, Tom.
Say again?
It was in April of this year.
Yeah. So
yeah. So, Chris, you let me just inform you that this man that you're looking at the show, we call him the knowledge. He actually knows what color brief underwear Muhammad Ali was wearing when he fought Sonny Liston, and he actually knows the date he was wearing and what underwear he changed into after the fight and what date.
That was February 25th, 1964. That's
Anyway, as I was saying, Chris, you've shared the ring, as you said, with the likes of Errol Spence Jr. and Gerard Innes. In terms of the power department,
okay,
was there anything that you felt?
Okay, good question. People are asking us, good question. You know what? This is what happened. I came out there round one. I was basically inactive for 2.5 years, right? 2.5 years. So I knew coming into that fight, I was like, once I get my rhythm, I said it's going to be very crucial for me to get at least to round 4 to get into a rhythm and adapt and get my timing or whatever. So round one, even if you go back on round one, I didn't really get hit. Like I didn't really get hit by big shots against Conor. I kind of tagged him. I found it easy to hit him, I remember going back to my corner after round one, and my confidence went right through the roof because I was like, oh, he's right there. He's not that difficult to hit. I can hit him. I was like, he hasn't really hit me. Nothing alarming went off in my head where I was like, oh wow, the power is unbelievable, because I haven't really been hit, and I came out in round two, like in round one, I came out in round two trying to find my distance, and I'll tell you what, the first right hand he hit me with buzzed me. The first clean right hand he hit me with buzzed me. So it happened so quick. So I cannot say that there was power for me to think about, because the one I took me out of it. So if you understand what I'm saying, I didn't have something to think about. I didn't go back to my round after taking a cumulative punches, and I had something to think about. When I did get caught, I was out. So it happened so quick, it happened so fast that yeah, it was over. So after the fight, obviously, this like again, this is such a beautiful but such a lonely sport. So after the fight, going home and as a fighter, we're in our heads. So especially if you lose, you kill yourself. You kill yourself mentally because you lost. It's a lonely place, and I struggled, not as much as I struggled with the Errol Spence fight because I knew how to handle the situation this time. But for a couple of weeks, a good couple of weeks, I struggled. I struggled to understand how I'm known. The fight fans know me as how he's a tough kid. Bring in Chris for anybody because he's a tough opponent. He's durable. He fights with a heart. He can take a punch. A lot of people know me. They say they can take a punch. I tried to understand how I could take Errol Spencer's power. I got beat up. I got beat up by Jaron Ennis in round one. Yeah, I was never gonna win that fight. I took that fight on 2 weeks' notice. By the way, we went through a pandemic. They needed an opponent. I took that fight on 2 weeks' notice. But I did get beat up in round one. But I took it. I took it like a man. From one side of the ring to the other side of the ring, I got hit. But I took it. Fair enough. And then I tried to understand how one punch, I get in the fight, and here's Conor Benn, a guy that's not really known for blowing up people, except for the fight before me against Chris Algieri, a one-punch knockout. And I tried to understand I tried to put my head around how did one punch take me out of it? I couldn't. And I at the end of the day, I made peace with this. I took my loss fair and square. I was like, I have no excuses. I have no excuses. I got beat by a better man, by a dangerous man that's underestimated. And I underestimated him. And I didn't give him the benefit of the doubt that he could knock me out. And I got knocked out. And life lesson learned, don't judge a book by its cover. So I made peace with all of that. And I got to a good place to be able to say, okay, you know what? I'm not going to be suicidal like in the Errol Spence fight. I know how to deal with this. I accepted it. I made peace with it. I love it. It is what it is. And then to wake up 2 days ago to my phone blowing up. And I remember waking up, and when I saw my phone was blown up, I thought to myself, first thing I thought was, did I do something stupid that went viral like that? And I saw the news that came out, and immediately I was unsettled, and I was in a very harsh place again. You can understand this. I'm sure you guys can understand it as men. I made peace with the fact that I lost to Errol Spence, to Conor Benn, to a better man. I made peace with that. But now for all of this to come out, and it woken up things inside of me where I went, oh man, did I lose to a better man or did I lose to a cheat? It's human. It's human to ask those things after the things that came out. I'm a fighter. I cannot help it. It's human. You guys understand it. And it's only natural to raise the question, did I lose to a clean athlete? Because we didn't get VADA tested. Well, I didn't get VADA tested. Not at all. Not 10 weeks before the fight, not during the fight, not before the fight. I did not get VADA tested. After the fight, though, I got urine tested, not by VADA, by the UK. Tested. So I got tested, urine tested afterwards. I don't know about Conor, but we never ever got enrolled in VADA testing or whatever. So then I saw the stuff that came out that 4 months before my fight, so in February or January and February, Conor Benn refused to take a VADA test. He refused to enroll in VADA testing. And the WBC dropped him from the rankings, him and two other guys, because refusing to take the test. So you can imagine in my head, I'm going, damn, why did it refuse to do the VADA testing or enroll in VADA testing? 4 months right before my fight. Now he got caught. Man, did I lose to a cheat? So it's only natural to ask the question. And I see a lot of people slamming me. They go, you're a bad loser. You're a sore loser. I am not. I accepted my defeat. I never made one excuse. And still to this day, I pray, actually, because this has actually been good for my career. As bad as it sounds, this is kind of, it's working in my favor, because now it's like, okay, you lost to a cheat, whatever. So it's giving me some, but in the back of my head, I pray that we can come to a solution here, and Conor Benn is clean, and there was a mistake or something, because I love Conor. I have respect for him. Mm-hmm. And it's so easy. Everyone say, yeah, a fighter know what he's taking. A fighter know what he's taking. A fighter know what he's taking. Mm. Yes, I agree with that. Yes, but we do have a nutritionist, and we do have a strength and conditioning coach that becomes family. They become so, they become brothers. They become so family, so tight that you trust and believe everything they say. I mean, we cannot help it. So if you do your strength and conditioning coach and someone you trust with your life, because of that friendship bond, and he puts a shake in your hand and he says, drink it, it's good. I've done it. I've done it. I'm not going to lie and say, I check everything I drink. I trust my team. I do. And it's easy for someone to take a shake and drop it in, not knowing what the hell I'm taking, because I trust my brother and my sister that said, go. So that is possible. So man, that's what I'm saying. I hope we can come down to something here where Conor Benn is proven that he had no idea, that he really had no idea what he's taking. And I say that because he's a brother and I love him and I lost to a warrior. Because if I find out that hey, man, right now I'm unsettled. Right now in my head, I'm going, I lost to a cheat. I didn't lose fairly right now. And I need this to go away. And yes. Oh man, do I make sense?
Chris, believe me, you touched on so many points. Actually, a key point which I was going to mention, which was, were you drug tested prior to your fight with Conor? You've just basically told us that that wasn't the case. Do you feel in the day and age we live in, with so much drugs being used, it's rife, that going into big fights, what do you think that drug testing should be mandatory? It should be mandatory for fights. Because I was having this conversation with Spencer, and I was saying that I feel that drug testing should be mandatory.
I think so too. It should. I honestly think so too. Especially at the, we all know, once you hit that top 15 in the world, you're fighting against elite level fighters.
Yes,
it's dangerous. It's a fine line. It's a fine line that separates each other. So by taking banned substance and stuff that's going to help you, it can make a big difference. So I think it should be. I agree with you. I 100% agree with you.
Spence, I mean, I'm going to say this, but I'll let you talk.
Yeah, I'm going to say this. When we're dealing
I also
with,
want to say this: my career, my loss to Conor Benn, has damaged my career badly, especially at 35. Oh, it's putting me in the back of the line, where a win or a well fought fight could have opened up, could have done so many things for me. At the moment, my career is very hurt, because of that loss. And if my career is hurt because I lost to a cheat, man, the sport is dangerous enough. We get in that ring where we can die, man.
Yes, that's deep. Sorry, Spence. So I have to go back on it, because see me, I am. That's why sometimes I just have to listen. But I'm going to have to backtrack to something you said. My phone's blowing up as the show's going on about the show. But about the trust, and the trust these young men put into the people that they think are doing a job. I'm going to say it right live on this show. Where is this Dr. Usman, brother?
Now, Tun, you see, you started me off now. So let me tell you.
Where is he? Where is he? Because hold on, you're so quick to be your face all up in the camera with these boxers, Tyson Fury, Conor Benn, everything. As soon as the shit hit the fan, sorry for the language,
we are alone.
You're
As
gone.
soon as the shit fans, we are alone.
So you've mastered your.
Where is he? Where is he? I want to know where is he?
Wait,
Where is he?
So hold on. So you've mastered your thing, which is the medical practice. You've come into our sport, boxing. A young man has been charged with a drug offense. You have been on podcasts telling people how you cheat the system. And when it gets to the down and dirty part, you've scarpered, you've gone. This young man trusted you. Conor Benn trusted you. And you've headed out. At least you should be here on this show talking, giving us something that we can run with. I'm sorry, people. I'm hot. I'm hot. The man deleted his Instagram.
Tunde.
The man has deleted his Instagram. Anyway, sorry, Spencer.
Tunde, what I'm saying is this, yeah? Where is the doctor? We need to put a witch hunt out for him right now. We need to go back to when Ali fought Sonny Liston and he went out on a bear hunt to go find this man, this perpetrator of the sport. He's the man that... Seriously, because... Chris, thank you so much for breaking it down. You have a nutritionist. He just comes after you done train. Drink this, take that. Reason why? Because you're trusting these man. How comes? Why is it in boxing? I want to know this. Why is it only in boxing? You couldn't do that in football.
No.
I want to know your track record. You couldn't do that in basketball.
Accountable.
Right. And the thing about it is this: call the doctor. I want to know that this part here. Call this man. Like this man, they need to find him.
Yes.
ASAP. Before anybody, he needs to be found, right? Because as Chris EUBANK said earlier, yeah, when I read the statement the other day, that he was prepared to sue anybody of involvement of this fight with attempted murder of his son. Find this doctor, man. That's what I'm saying. Because I see like Tyson Fury was saying like, oh, he spoke something about the doctor. I don't know when it was. I'm going to say like recent, like how he respects his doctor and blah, blah. Where's the doctor now?
You know, one of the reasons...
Where is the doctor now, Tunde?
Chris, one of the reasons why we held back from speaking since the news came out is because our channel is not known for a gossip channel. We're not a gossip channel. Our channel is a platform where fighters, promoters, managers can just be themselves and talk their truth, just honestly. And it just upsets me now that our sport has been brought into disrepute. Thank God the fight didn't go on. Imagine this news came out after the fight. I mean, it's really, it's baffling, Chris. Spence,
I'm going back to the doctor. This doctor can't. I can't. I got to go right back to the doctor. That's what I got to go back to.
That's right, man. That's right. This is
this little witch doctor, man. Find this doctor, man. Find him, right? Because I know for a fact, and I'm so happy that you said what you said, Chris. Where you're saying that you trust these people. These people are your brothers. These people are your sisters. They get brought to the camp. Right,
I'm not even gonna lie, man. It's the truth, people, and it's the truth. It's the truth, We trust these people. We don't check everything they give us because they are our team. In my mind, I'm like, he would never do that to me. He wouldn't go that far to jeopardize my career. Like I trust him with my life. We do, and my strength and conditioning coach. I'm thinking about it right now. Has put in a shake in my hand so many times right after training. Man, if you're exhausted after a 2-hour training session and you're exhausted and your conditioning coach gives you something to drink, believe me, the last thing that goes in your head at that point is it clean? You are so thirsty. You are so exhausted. You down whatever they give you. You do it. You trust them.
Chris, can I ask you,
sorry, thank you very much, Mr. Joseph Ross, for the £5. Thank you.
Joseph Ross. Thank you. What was baffling to me is that even after the news, let me just read something that was written in the Times newspaper, which is a highly respected paper here in the UK. The headline on Friday, the 7th of October, obviously a day before the fight, 10:30 at night, Conor Benn could face a suspension of up to 4 years after British anti-doping investigators asked for evidence of his failed drug tests. The Times understands that UK anti-doping, otherwise known as UKAD, will launch a formal investigation after a failed test for the banned fertility drug, clomifene, led to the postponement of the 26-year-old's £25 million bout with Chris Eubanks Jr. The test was conducted early last month. I want you to listen to this. The test was conducted early last month by the Voluntary Anti-Doping Agency, otherwise known as VADA, which technically sits outside the jurisdiction of the National Doping Organization. UKAD investigators will request cooperation from VADA and the British Boxing Board of Control, the BBBC, which was notified, listen, which was notified of Benn's test results on September 23rd and declared the fight prohibited this week.
Yeah, that's baffling, man.
That's disgusting.
Wow.
Listen, the 23rd of
last month.
September. Therefore, this means that all parties involved were fully aware.
They were in on this. They knew it. Yeah, they knew all of this.
Just said, nah, this fight can't go on. But what is baffling to me is that they knew this from the 23rd of September. Wow. Can you tell me, Chris, what you feel about the fact that right up until the, what do you call it, 11th or the 9th hour, that the promoters still were urging for this fight to take place?
I'm lost for words. I'm lost for words, my man. I feel like the first thing that comes to my mind is why wait till the 11th hour to bring this on Conor Benn, you know, into like publicly, like with so many eyes, you know, at the fight, the day before the fight, there's so many eyes on the event. Why wait till then for all of this to come out? Yeah, I don't have words. I'm baffled.
Like I'm saying, when you're dealing with, and this is not me taking a slant at any promoter, but you're a promoter, are you really sitting down and thinking about the health and safety of the participants of the sport? Because obviously, if the British Board of Control on the 5th said the fight weren't going on, but yet the promoters in the Southlands and Matchroom were saying that the fight was still going ahead. But they knew the board said, nah, brother. Right? So, and I also know, and this is not me people trying to say that it was the zone that pulled the plug on the fight. Yeah. Now, whether that's true or not, because certain people can't talk on it. But what I am saying is this, regardless, the safety of the participants is paramount. Now, if someone has popped dirty, knowingly or intentionally, or unintentionally, sorry, the fight should have been cancelled straight away.
Straight.
I understand.
Now, this is making a mockery of the sport, which is going to give more power to the anti-boxing brigade people who are going to be sitting down and thinking like this is a joke. And we do not need to see no more injuries in this sport. This is not a game. You cannot play boxing.
We're in a profession where two people go to work at night and one might not go home. How many people go to work at night and knowingly know they might die tonight? that is the sport we're in. That is boxing. We've seen it happen. I believe it's happening now more than ever, where we see fighters die, injuries. So this is not a joke. It's not a joke.
Chris, I mean, this is such a touchy subject, but I want to change the energy for a minute, because I know, where are you, in Vegas, Las Vegas?
Los Angeles,
LA, beautiful place.
The sunny state, California, LA. It's beautiful.
Love it. I want to just, what next for you now? I know right before all of this, having names like Conor Benn, Jaron Ennis, Errol Spence, Matthew Atten, having big names on my record, and being 35, I'm a veteran of the sport, so I need to be in fights that big. And I know I'm gonna get another call from some up and coming guy that needs to get a big name on his record, and they're ask me to fight. But so like I said, losing to Conor Benn damaged my career badly. Like it set me back so much. But now all of a sudden people are talking about me again, and they're saying, "Wow, did you lose fairly?" And there's people that say you didn't, you lost to a cheat, blah blah blah. We would like to see you against. People say they would want to see me versus Chris Algieri, or they want to see me versus Avanese, or what's his name? From the UK. Like him. Yes.
And there's things coming up. But to be honest, I don't know what's next for me. Like, this has hurt my career. The loss to Conor Benn has hurt my career so much. I don't know what's next for me. All I know is that I'm not done. I'm not done. I still have a lot of fight in me. I know I'm 35, but 35 is 30. We have a way of recovery in this era we live in. I'm not done. I still have so much fight in me. I just need another shot. Unfortunately, it didn't go my way against Conor. I was very confident after round one that I'm gonna upset a lot of people tonight if I find my rhythm and I find whatever. But man, I hope someone's listening and offer me a big fight again, because I feel like I've paid my dues in the sport over the years, and I just want to.
Well, let me tell you something. Anybody who blesses this show only good always. What's the young man, McKinson? He came on. Listen, nobody knew about McKinson.
Yes, sir.
He's getting a world title fight.
Yes,
There's
sir.
been many instances of people coming on the show because it's a positive vibration.
I love it, my brother. I love it. And like I said, I'm just going to be honest. That Conor Benn fight hurt me so much that I don't know what's next. And we know. I mean, you guys know, if you're 35 and you lose, people write you off.
Chris, don't worry about that. We've seen many men who have come off of back-to-back losses and come back and had great wins after. So you just keep the faith.
Come on.
Training, you just keep it.
Come on.
As the great George Foreman said, all I got to do is drink my milk and run down the road. So that's what you got to do. Keep positive, my friend. All right?
Thank you, my brother.
But you bless the show now. So if you bless the fighters right, watch. Blessing's going to come.
Yes.
On that note,
What you put out, you must get back.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Pleasure having Chris Van Heerden on the show, former IBO world champion. And also, before you go, Chris, the time that I really started to know about you was when you beat Raymond Na. What was that?
Rayna from Ghana.
Raymond, I know him, the Ghanaian guy. Rayna. That guy was a very, very good talent. I want you to know you beat him on a split decision. He was a Tunde. He was bad. Guy Al Hammond, who I know had dealings with him from in Ghana, and you beat him, and that's when it kind of propped. And then I remember you going back and forth with Ashley Fearfane on Twitter.
Yeah, Ashley actually at that time, Ashley actually went at me, and I was like, "Hey man, let's go, let's go."
I mean, so Chris, just keep the faith. Thank you so much for blessing the show as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's
you
only
guys are awesome.
Powers that and Chris graduated to the black book yet, but it's coming.
And Chris, me and you, we've got each other's contact now.
Thank you so much.
When I got these, maybe one day I'll have a welterweight that I need you to school him and move him around the ring. So I'll be in touch. And, you know, maybe when we're out in LA, me and Anthony Yard.
Oh, absolutely, man. You guys ever in LA, you hit me up. My treat.
Yes, sir.
My
Thank you.
treat.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Take care.
let us again thank
Thank you.
a great person, a fantastic individual, a beautiful man, a man that shared a ring with many a great fighter, and who also is a great fighter, the one, the only, Mr. CHRIS Van Heerden. Big up, Chris. Take care,
Thank you,
brother.
guys. Have a wonderful Sunday.
Yes, sir.
All right, you too, my brother.
Bro, you can't mess with this thing up. Yeah. Spencer Fearon. Beautiful. Beautiful.
You know
Listen,
what? Thank you. Two Chris's.
Two Chris's. Bless the thing. On a Sunday.
Two
and
Chris.
both of them emotional. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
I wanted to get up on my chair and just leave when Chris EUBANK SNR was talking.
Tunde.
Brother, I'm telling you, mate. It's and you know what? I feel it for him, and more importantly, I'm happy that he got a chance to talk, because that's the pain that a man must be feeling. You understand? You're trying to, you know, the thing is that when you're a father, you are directed, and a lot of us trainers are father to these fighters. But when you have that direct link of father-son through blood, it hurts you when you are trying to tell your son through experience, don't go there, don't go here, but he thinks he knows too much.
Tunde,
He thinks he knows too much.
I hear that, but you know
And
what?
it hurts. Wait. It hurts. Yes, we know you have to let people live their own truth, make their own mistakes. But in truth, I read once a man that said, I hate it when people say, let me make my own mistakes. I'm looking at people who's already made mistakes and learning from them. And so let's hope that Chris EUBANK Jr., regardless of what has happened the other day, can make amends with his father, because this man is in pain. He's in pain. And I guess Chris EUBANK Jr. is in pain. But what happens is very much like my own father. When you're looking at your son, or when your son's looking at you, when you're looking at your son as a father, you're looking at yourself in the future.
All right, let me interject now, right?
Yes.
Because Manze is saying that Tunde likes to chat too much. So I'm saying, but Tunde's chatting facts.
Yeah, I hear
So
that.
hence why I don't need to interject when
Who said that so I can block his ass? Who said that? Don't let me find him, because if I find him, you're blocked.
Right.
Who said that?
Go look through it, bro.
Where? Don't let me. As soon as I find you, you're blocked. Carry on.
Right? I'm saying this. I don't even want to drag the show on much longer, Tunde. I'm just going to be real with you. The reason being is because what was just given there from the two Chris's, right? And CHRIS Van Heerden, like I speak to regularly on Twitter. Nice man, very nice man. But what Chris EUBANK Sr., because he shared some real personal stuff with me over the course of the last month, I would say, or the fact that he's blessed us with that statement that went viral and everybody was quoting the show and stuff like that. But the mere fact that Miss Ringside mentioned him, so I thought, child, let me just phone Chris now. Boom. Right? And
okay, yeah.
It's more to do with the fact that he's going through this emotional strain. But to see the things, I want you to remember this. 6 years ago, Chris EUBANK Jr. and Conor Benn were both to fight on the undercard of Anthony Joshua, Dominic Brazil. Do you remember that?
Yes,
and
sir.
Chris EUBANK said to Conor, we don't know if you're going to be a good fighter yet. We don't know if you're going to be a good fighter. But what I will say to you is that your father should be here with you. He should be here with you. Do you remember that? And Conor got upset, like, what are you talking about my dad for? What are you talking about my dad? Look, you got no right to talk about my dad. He went nuts. Let's flip the page some 6 years now on Chris Eubank in his statement when he said that your dad should have been around you, he's absolutely right. Because your dad could have been saying like, right, who's this doctor man around you? Or who's giving you this or that? Or because there is no other way without you had to ingest that or that be injected into your body. There's no other way that can get into your body. There's not a cream where you can just rub it on you and it can be in your body. There's no way. So those questions need to be answered, right? But what I'm not going to do, and I rate CHRIS VAN HEERDEN from when he come on there, was saying like, we can't shoot him down because you don't know the tipping point of what could happen to this young man. But in closing, and this is my last statement on this thing, if the youth is deliberately took this thing and is guilty of that, then the book should be thrown at him. And that is real. Because if I had a son who was boxing and that was to happen to my child.
Sorry, because I'm just letting you know, as you're talking, my blood is boiling. If I find the brother that said what he said, bruv, if I find him, you're blocked. I don't care what you're saying. You see, bruv, see me, I'm a realist. If I find this guy, you better have deleted the comment. Anyway, carry on.
Right? I'm saying that
if I find this brother,
I told man already from the beginning that Tunde's on fire right now.
Me, bro. I'm not on it. So it's a talkative show. If you don't like me talking, get out of here.
All right, Tunde. But what I'm saying,
and I hope it was a real thing. Cause I hope it's not you just getting me upset because I was.
No, Tunde, the boy's up there. I'm telling you that now. Go to 902, you see it. But anyway, what should you go check that?
Gary, put up the thing. You know me. I would block everything. I'll block the show. God don't care. I have to find up because I don't want no negativity around me.
Oh, shout out to me.
If you're on this show and you're talking, you're talking nonsense, I'm gonna block you. Come on, aggressive, bro. Man said the Peckham mode is coming out. Fam, don't mess me about. Because I'm a fighter. CHRIS VAN HEERDEN was on here. He's a fighter. I'm a fighter. And I ain't no old decrepit man who can't talk. This ain't no IFL TV or one of them stations there, bro. This is the real thing. All right, cool. Sorry, carry on what you're saying, but because see me, I just cover the feelings. Like you can be giving an exegesis, you can be talking the most eloquent talk. That feeling that's inside. No, I'm just telling you.
Didn't want to be a
don't tell me nothing. That feeling.
You really don't tell you nothing. You talk about don't tell you nothing. You're about to eat it. I struggle.
That feeling that's inside of just quiet your mouth with your old grey head. Don't look at the bro. Back to black. They sell that down Peckham, mate.
No, I don't need to do that now because I'm accepting of who I am. I don't try to. Oh, Mr. Ross, thank you so much for your £20. Having heard senior, I think junior's hands aren't clean either. Ooh, he knew about this test.
Let me read that. I need to read that properly. Sorry. Joseph Ross, £20. Haven't heard senior. I think junior's hands aren't clean either. He knew about the test like everyone else and chose greed over his dad's concerns. I believe God goes ahead of time and potential disaster was avoided.
Joseph, thank you so much for the £20.
Thank you so much, sir.
You know what? And that's a strong comment.
That's a strong
comment. Jump on. What are you saying, Gary?
Oh, Gary, great show tonight.
I know that you haven't spoken to Gary in a little while because right throughout this show, you have not said fam.
No. I had to tell Gary. I told Gary it's because of him that I've been using that word. That word edged into my vocabulary, but we've got to be a bit diplomatic. Anyway, suffice to say, thank you for the $17.99. Gary Chains, he says, great show tonight, my bros. Spencer has been the only one to bring us EUBANK Senior's thoughts, both tonight and all of this week. Big up my brother Tunde as well. The fight is clear. Wait for it, fam. Old tight Gary, You know that he's a fan man. He is the fan man. No doubt about it. Anyway, Spence, as you said, we could have wrapped the show off exactly when you said it. But let's give, what's it, 10 past? All right, let's give anyone that wants to come in and give their views and their opinion on the current situation we have. Gary, put up the link in the box or wherever you put it, and let's see if anyone wants to come on and give their take and their opinion. Obviously, this is a people show for the people, by the people, and we're always interested to hear your thoughts and opinions. And as long as it's not too disrespectful, full stop, we'll have a great conversation. Thank you for the £10 SS10. Where's his comment? Let me read that. Can you actually believe a failed test has been kept a secret and all parties should be ashamed of themselves? Would Eddie or Callie let their child go in with a fighter who has tested positive? Jesus.
Bruv, done the argument. Done the argument. And I broke this down already. Sometimes it is seeming that this sport, you as the fighter are chewing gum. And what do you do, Tunde, with chewing gum that loses its taste? You spit it out. Or in the famous words of Mike Tyson when he said this sport is pimps and prostitutes.
No, listen, you see all that? Again, I said it, bro. No.
I'm quoting Mike Tyson.
No. What I'm trying to say is when these men was earning 100 million per fight, they weren't calling the game pimps and prostitutes.
Mike Tyson made that pimps and prostitutes statement when he's making... When he has made. No. We were still fighting when he made that comment.
How much money had he made before that? Before that statement come out? I don't even know, but I know for a fact. When this man was driving around in Rolls Royces and crashing them into trees and everything like that, he won't talk about no pimps and prostitutes. So, bro, a lot of these guys always talk after the event. If you feel that strongly about the sport, say it before you bust. Say it before you bust. Don't come in here and try put the sport down now that you've made millions and millions of pounds, done all what you want to do. Nah, brother, I will never disrespect my sport. I'm not disrespect at no time. Obviously, there are as I said, everything in life is polarity. Therefore, there's gonna be good and bad in all situations. It's just whatever angle you choose to look at it. Nobody is condoning what has happened. But this thing pays my bills.
Tunde, it pays mine. But Tunde, I'm saying this now. What SS10 said, when he says, like, would Eddie or Callie let their child go in with a fighter who has tested positive?
That's facts. I haven't got nothing to say about that. I'm just talking about you quoting these man saying all these things. It's just like another guy who come on the show talking all this talk that I don't even want to say. But when he was there, when he was jiggy in the nightclub, you weren't talking this thing here. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, our first guest on tonight's show from the audience, someone who has contributed, put his money where his mouth is, not just I don't know what they call them things there, a blot or whatever you call them things.
A bot.
But yeah, this man's real, and he's showing his face as well. Ladies and gentlemen, let's introduce a Fight Is Right listener, viewer, Mr. Joseph Ross. Big up, Joe.
Yes, people.
You're live, bro. You're live.
What's going on?
You know, Joseph Ross is an incredible musician. He travels the whole world with.
Yeah, man. Let me turn this thing down.
U2. I go through the whole. He's little guy. He's big on this. He's big. He's a big musician. Big.
Yeah, man. What I wanted to do was basically clear up the statement that I put on there about Junior's hands not being clean. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I'm coming from the angle of a dad. Now. Yes. Considering what Junior's seen has been through and the family have been through, when you've seen your son go through something like that, and if Junior knew all the testing and everything that had gone wrong, but yet still he made the decision to still go through with the fight, instead of listening to his dad's concerns, I think that's wrong on his part too.
Yeah,
because
he's not thinking about the 4 million. That's what he's thinking about.
This is what I'm saying. So, as you know what the scripture says, the love of money. Do you know what I'm saying? And for me, it's like, just supposing if something had gone wrong and then all of this comes out, it's like, for me, he has to take a bit of responsibility as well, because it's like us as fathers, we would instruct our children, listen, to know your own mind. And along the way, if something like that then comes up, I would expect my son to be thinking, hold on a minute, this isn't worth 4 million.
Yes.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
One second there, Joes, because let me add a few people to the stream. Welcome, Danny Wright, Mr. Fight Fan TV, long time brethren, a married man right now, bro. No more coming it up now, fam. The ring is there, certified. And
Ring
also,
magazine.
And also the one and only, a great person, a man who serves the country, Mr. Bobby Wright. He's with us with his Stamina for Sale t-shirt, always repping. And also, bruv, they're coming thick and thin. Mr. Russell Morgan, thank you, sir, for joining us. And also Mr. DAG, I believe that's right, Chanel. So let's go back to what Joseph was saying. Continue, brother. If you had finished, I'm not too sure if you had, but let's continue. Joe?
Yeah, I can hear you. So it's gone a bit quiet on my end. So I was basically saying, for me, I think Junior has come out of this brilliantly in terms of the lead up, how he's psychologically got into Conor's head with the 60% and the whole thing. And for me, everything has been brilliant. He's played a blinder, but because of now what's come out, for me, I think he's got a bit of dirt, if want of a better word, on his hands there. Because if we're going to say the promoters knew, if we're going to say the British Boxing Board of Control knew, we have to also say Chris Jr. knew. And he took the decision to still go through with the fight as well. Do you get what I'm saying? So for me, he put himself in harm's way as well.
Yeah, because he did actually say at the public workout, he wants the fight to go on. He said he's ready to fight. He did say it. So I don't wrong you there. Anyone in the audience who wants to say a piece on this current situation?
Well, who's the brother at the bottom on the bottom left of the screen?
SS10, Spencer. How are you all?
Nah,
nice.
brother, I thought you was Usman. Dr. Usman.
Yeah. First of all, big up Tunde, Spencer, Jonathan, and Gary as well.
Hold on, SS10. Hold on, SS10. Monty Singh, thank you for the £10. He said, good hearing Chris's story. Boxing is a lonely sport. These doctors need to log all medication. We have. Boxing is a lonely sport. Let's put some of these guys on mute so we can't hear the background. Medication. We have. Boxing is a lonely sport.
Sorry, if you're not speaking, can you mute your microphone, please?
Yeah, I'm muting them.
Not you, Tom. Anyone else who's not speaking.
No, I'm muting them. Yeah. And then
Thank you.
Monty Singh says, good hearing Chris's story. Boxing is a lonely sport. These doctors need to log all medication like we have medical records when we go to doctors. These private doctors need legislation as soon as possible. Anyway, let's go back to SS10. What are you saying, brother?
Yeah, thank you, Tunde. I just wanted to say, first of all, thank you to yourself, Jonathan, and Gary this week. We've been having a few talks and stuff, so everybody watch this space. But first of all, I have to say, this past week has been disturbing. And I'll tell you why I say this, Tunde and Spence. Sometimes I feel as though the promoters, they think as fans and yourself, like we're silly. You know, we can see what's happening. We can see there's a test that's been made. You know, we know it's a failed test. You guys have found out what I think you guys said the date is September or something like that. You know, you have to make this information public. You know, because then why are you treating us like we're silly? You know, you cannot put a fighter in a position to say, oh, your opponent's failed the test when there's so many millions on the line. You know, EUBANKS is coming towards the end of his career. He's thinking in this one fight, I can make as much money as I'm going to make in, I don't know, 2 or 3 fights or whatever it is. And for his own father to say, look, I'm trying to reason with him and say, look, this guy is taking these drugs. I know, you know, we're not like done degrees in pharmacy and all this kind of stuff. We don't know how these drugs work and what this drug was used. I mean, I've been reading like it's you know, we don't want to put things out there that we're not sure on, but it's a masking agent. It's taken at the end of a cycle, and you know, it's so bad. And people like Eddie and you know Cali and you know Cali, especially the Sowlands, they promote EUBANK. You have to put your client's best interests first.
Yes.
You cannot, you know, for the financial gain or to keep your broadcaster happy or whatever works in this, you know, in this boxing game. Like, you know, Eddie's gone over to the zone. They're building up Ben. We know that, you know, Ben is like at the forefront of everything. Look at the promotion they put on. You're going around London. You're going on the internet. The advertisement spend was huge. We understand that. But, you know, the red carpet event, flying in celebrities and everything like that. But I find that, you know, I just found it really, really bad that they think, you know, we're silly and we can't see through what's happening. And then they're covering it up. Even people like Bellew and Chisora and all these guys, yeah. Like, I know, you know, I'm not, you know, I'm a fans of them. I watch their fights or buy the pay-per-view. But you have to have the same energy for every single fighter, you know. And I rate people like Liam Smith and these guys, you know, who just coming out, you know, Lyndon Arthur. They're just saying it as it is. You know, that if it's, you know, it is what it is. And I found that bad. And also, just my final point before I'm going on, is this doctor, yeah, or whoever it is. Now, that podcast, Tunde, I think was about 10, 11 months ago, you know, where he spoke about, I think, don't quote me on it, but I think it was something along the lines of 70 or 80 or 90% of elite boxers are on, you know, are juicing, was his words. And he's saying that you have to be silly in the UK to be caught because obviously it's urine tests only and you can clear it and this and that. And, you know, they only come to your house they can't come to your house between 11 p.m. and 7 a.m. So if you take something at this time, it'll be out your system by that time. So you're saying Conor Benn, he's got all these top, you know, the Simses, Eddie, all these, you know, massive boxing people behind him. None of these people have heard this podcast. They didn't know, you know, the doctor has this knowledge. You know, at the end of the day, I was supporting Ben. You know, I think he's a great kid. I love the energy. You know, they think I'm crushing it. You know, we're coming off a long week at work. We're looking forward to these events. We like these entertainers. But you know what? You have to just look at the whole thing and say, what on earth has gone on here?
Okay, hold your point there, because we got a lot of people in the thing. We're gonna go to Bobby Wright next, then we're gonna go to Danny, then we're gonna go to Russell, and then we're gonna go to Deji. Okay. Yeah. So Bobby Wright, let's give us a little bit of what you feel.
Yeah. So what's done it for me is that I get drug tested in my job, don't I? Do you know what I mean? So I get, and it's 2p samples. I don't know how it is in boxing, but it's 2p.
Tell the people. Hold on, wait there before you tell anything. Old tight Denzel Bentley about to fight for the world title. Thank you for the 17.99. You know, enough of these boxers, they get up there and they forget about, man.
Listen, let me just reiterate here. Denzel Bentley, we saw his mum at the York Hall when he had that fantastic win. Big up Mumsy. And when Denzel was saying that his mum watches the show, she actually does watch the show. And no, Denzel Bentley's not fighting for the world title. Denzel Bentley is winning the world title.
Yes, sir. Amen. Denzel Bentley, thank you for the 17.99. He said it's from Mumsy as well.
Yep.
She said she loves your show. Laugh out loud. She's tuned in right now. Mummy, yeah, I'm not calling you by no name other than Mummy, because you are all mothers to us. Thank you very much, and God bless you. Let's continue. Right, Bobby, sorry, mate. Carry on, my man.
I was just saying, I get drug tested within my job.
Yes, and yeah, that's what I was gonna say. What is your job? Let the people know.
I'm in the army.
You're in the army, yes, sir.
Yeah. So I'm serving. Yeah. So I get drug tested every, say, 3 months, or it could be sooner, depending if there's suspicion that people's taking drugs within the military. But I take the drug test, and within 2 weeks, it comes back with that information. And I'm just talking about service personnel. So when money's riding like £25 million on a fight, I don't get why it's taking so long. and then they wait for the B sample. So when someone's been caught, they're confined to camp and not allowed to leave camp because they're not trusted with anything else. So that they're in like isolation, and then from there, that's when the B sample will get tested. Do you know what I'm saying? So with all the money riding on this, like it's just bizarre how it's taken so long and how many people just covered it up. And I don't like to talk negative on anything really, and you two taught me that, but like something's got to be done because it's not right. It's not fair. It's not fair that people can get injured or even worse, or killed. You know, do you know what I'm saying? So something that actually needs to be done, and it's proper upsetting. It matched my weekend up as well because I like
absolutely. That's a great point, Bobby. Gus, I'm just gonna call you family. I don't even need to call man by their proper name. Just Mr. Daddy, right? The one of the proper. You know what? When you got married the other week and I was at the reception, I think when your wife was talking, I was looking at you. I was just looking at you, fam. Sorry, see, Gary making me say fam. I was just looking at you and said, look at this young man that I watched, that I school him in the gym. Just made me so proud to see you tied a knot with your fiance. Congratulations again, brother. And long, as I told the both of you, long may your marriage blossom. Yes, sir. So come on, let's break it down because you're a man. When you talk, the people must listen.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Dad.
So first of all, shout out the master genius and the master knowledge. Yeah. So yeah, what I wanted to say, it was something which I spoke to Spencer about the other day. So, but he got it a bit wrong. So when that press conference happened on the Joshua Brazil thing, Senior said to Conor, he goes, your dad needs to be here with you because he needs to see the company you keep, people who may lead you astray. Then Conor Benn got all uptight and said, who are you to talk about my personal life? Don't talk about my personal life. He goes, no, Conor. He has to be it because you have to remember, Conor wasn't raised over here, unfortunately. He was brought up in Spain and Australia. So he doesn't have no day ones, day twos, even day sixes over here. So everybody you see him with are brand new friends, who are only going to hang around with him off of the back of who he is and the reputation his dad is. So all these guys you see him with, I'm seeing them on the media, make the days count, and you've got one man with some duffel bag with all these Christian Dior and Fendi clothes coming out. I'm like, come on, who's this brother? Where are you knowing from? Then you see him at restaurants with these random guys. I'm like, come on, you don't look like you was knocking about with these men 4 or 5 years ago. So this is why you're able to, as CHRIS Van Heerden said, when you're depleted in training, crushing it in the gym, doing them mad runs I see Tony putting their man on, if a man gives you a bottle of mud, you're going to end up drinking that, unfortunately, because you're so depleted, you need anything in your system. So a lot of these fighters don't check the ingredients that they check. They take all these sachets. They got these strength and conditioning coaches who Senior called PE teachers, and they think because they done a little sports science in Lewisham College that all of a sudden now they can start telling athletes what to take and implement. This is why I rate you, Tunde, because you don't have all these science man coming around with their Obia man business. You make sure it's you and your trustworthy guys like big ads.
Can I just say something? For us fighters right listening, the word Obia.
Sorry.
Man's busting words like Obia. Well, you gotta remember it's like a multicultural podcast, mate. And there's people from the old Kent Road. English, upper class, lower class. But Obia just means someone is doing what they're not supposed to do. But anyway, just to touch on that point, if they don't sell it in Tesco's, Lidl, or Waitrose, where I'm shopping nowadays, it ain't going in my body, mate. Simple. Boxing is about the fine arts. You only need a few dumbbells, and call me old-fashioned. But I've said it. A lot of these guys, you got to be careful. You know, and I'm a man, I just play it safe. What's that? Which that you showing me, Spence? Dr. Usman's British Boxing Board of Control license. All right, me personally, I can't knock evolution because I'm a man who loves to evolve every single day. But I just think sometimes we overcomplicate the situations. And there's a lot of people in the sport at the moment that don't really need to be there. You know, we don't have no hangers on. You ain't never seen no hangers on with me and Yard. We rode into Russia on our own. And the training is always kept to a minimal, but that's just us. Other people are different. But you make some great points. You know, what I know Justin Ben has always been around Conor, and I talked to Justin, so I know he's definitely a real one. I definitely know
1,000,000% Justin's a real one.
Definitely know Justin has got Conor's back 1,000,000%. So, but the other brothers, I don't really know too much about them. But thank you for your comments, Danny. Fantastic. Let's move on to, I think I said Russell next, didn't I? Yeah, let's hear what Russell's got to say. Big up, Russell. Thank you for joining us this evening. You're sitting on the couch, chilling, just Sunday evening ready. Locked in.
Yeah, man. Yeah. First thing, big up to you guys. First time actually tuning into or actually live on any podcast at all. But I wanted to jump on this one because I feel like you guys' energy resonates for me personally very strongly. Tunde, I've seen you about in I actually grew up in just by Goose Green, so I've seen you about a lot. And Spencer, I feel your energy a lot. I used to hang out in Kennington a lot, Kennington Park, Frederick Crescent. One of my best friends lived on that road, and yeah, both of your energy resonates very strongly for me, and I appreciate what you guys have done with this situation, because regardless of what we think about innocence, guilt, whatever, Conor Benn is a human being, and I think that needs to be put front and center, because whatever he's going through right now, he will be suffering a lot. And I can even now speaking, I can almost feel he's suffering. He must be feeling alone, just like CHRIS Van Heerden was saying. He must be wondering what's going on with his life, with his career. And I think whatever statements people have got to say, I think they need to just consider that and consider his personal well-being and health. One thing for me that I heard in the Eddie Hearn statement, and I don't know if it's almost like unknowingly, or you know, he's telling us things that we may not have known before. And I've been following boxing for a long time, and something I didn't know, and I don't know if you guys can shed light on, is that when they sign up to VADA as voluntary testing, I got the impression that from him that there actually isn't any particular like obligation to follow any regulations or protocols or anything with the voluntary VADA testing. So VADA report back to the camps and let them know what the test results are. But you can test positive for this, that, and whatever. And so long as between the camps you come to an agreement that, well, it's all good, you can continue with the fight, and that result may never get reported. I didn't know that is the that is the case, and I wonder if you guys can sort of shed any light on that, because I always thought from when you sign up to VADA, like he said in the past himself, it's the gold standard, la la la. So you almost assume without question that from when you sign up to VADA, that is it. If nothing comes back, you don't hear anything, that means all parties have passed all the tests. But actually, it doesn't mean that. It just means nothing was reported back to the public. Whereas a positive test may have been reported to camps, and they've decided, well, it's all okay and let's go ahead.
Well, hence why it has taken so long for this to come out. And I think it was actually the Daily Mail that broke the story. But again, fantastic point you've made there, Russell. Spence, what's your whole thing? What's your opinion on this?
You know what? I can't really get deep into this massive negligence, because that's what it is.
Yes,
it's negligence and incompetence, and seemingly I could say that to all parties involved who were trying to bend this or turn this into a loophole for it to go on, just really stuck two fingers up at professional boxing. And also, when you personally have known somebody who has died in the ring, rest in peace, Michael Newgrove, who passed away, must be about a decade ago now, right? When you know somebody who has passed away from professional boxing through injury, not through anybody taking any drugs or anything else, but you know the seriousness of this. When you go outside the gymnasium where Tunde used to frequent for years, the Peacock Gym, there was a statue of Bradley Stone. This is the seriousness of this sport.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So, like I said, and when you've been in, like, Danny Wright could affirm to this, when you've been in the gyms as an amateur, and you've been around guys who you've been with when you've been an amateur fighter, you have a camaraderie with them that, to outside people, they don't really get that. They don't get it because they're not in there when the times when you've been sparring, not being in there when you've had to go on, when we'd go away to fight other camps when you're jumping on a plane and you'd fight for the London squad or you'd be lucky to fight for the England squad or those kind of things. And there's a camaraderie there in boxing that certain people who have not participated in the sport like that don't really get. You're not going to get it. You don't understand. So when I see negligence being participated at that level, you're dealing with human life, and those things somebody needs to be taken accountability of, and that's what I've got to say on it.
Yeah, you know what just came into my mind? This is a serious situation because if we look back at the fathers, we have one who fought with Michael Watson. Michael Watson to this day is in a wheelchair. And we have one in Nigel Benn who fought with Joe McLennan, who is also wheelchair bound. So you can just feel, especially from Chris Eubank Sr., where this pain and wantingness to not make anything like this happen again is coming from. And how ironic it is the sons. Like this, for me, it's like a spiritual thing. Like this fight weren't meant to take place. This fight weren't meant to take place. And I'm sorry if it's going to hurt some promoters' pockets, but you can't put the children through this again when the dads have already, they feel responsible for injuring the lives of boxers that they fought against. That's deep, bro. That's deep. Deji, you've been sitting down there patiently on the bed, running to the kitchen. Fam. Sorry, Deji. We've seen it, bro. Man, know you're inside of your bedroom, bro.
yeah, that's got to be on sweet there. But, greetings, peace, everyone.
Exclusive. Oh, what did I just do? Yeah, you're saying no, I don't care. I'm waiting for my turn to speak on the realness. Big up, Deji. Thank you for joining us this evening, brother. And most importantly, being patient to wait to have your say. Let's take it away, brother. What's your feeling on this whole thing that's going on at the moment? Thank you, Off the Canvas Boxing, for the 179. Does VADA testing mean that UCAD are inadequate? No, I think it's just shown that maybe UCAD need to add in more into their testing now, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, that this was something that they don't actually test for. Hence
that's right. They don't test for it, Tunde. You're absolutely right.
And not the UCAD that discovered this finding. So maybe it will now give UCAD time to broaden their scope in terms of the testing, which is going to make it safe for everybody. But Deji, let's go. Go ahead. Talk your team.
Let me just bounce off that word patience that you've just used, because I think it's a good word here. Basically, because I'm quite proud of boxing fans and their solidarity with this situation. A lot of people were quite adamant that they were quite happy that this event didn't take place under the circumstances, which I concur with, because even though I'm upset when a fight night doesn't happen, we want everything to be clean. And I think Kala and Hearn misread the room before they started talking and addressing us with reasons why this bout could have continued. I think they got it desperately wrong. And their willingness to talk like this, I'm wondering, as a person which you said this is your thing, this is how you pay your bills. I'm wondering if there's going to be a knock-on effect to the point where a lot of people outside of the UK are looking at the UK as being a place which is a little bit untrustworthy in regards to such standards.
Of course they are.
They've already started. I listened to an interview on a channel, an American channel, and they were saying, man, those guys over the UK, they dirty. You know, and sorry for my American accent, it sounded like Danny Wright tried to give us the EUBANK and the Conor Benn accent when he was talking a minute ago. But anyway, yeah, these guys were saying that, man, these guys over the UK, they dirty. And that's not good. That's a black eye for us in the UK. Because in the past, it was us really saying, you know, you can't go over to Russia, you can't go over to Germany. It's almost as though now the finger's being pointed back at us. So it's, you know, listen, it's like someone said, you know, we talk about it being a dangerous sport, how many people on the whole have died in boxing. Yeah, I get that, but it's still not good. However, me personally, however way you look at it, it's just not good for the sport. And I feel that, as you said, Deji, it could have been handled a lot more better than what it did. I don't think it needed to go as far as the day before, because even the fact that it was baffling. Like, I was in the gym, Spencer was phoning me and saying, I mean, these men are doing a public workout. And I was like, hold on, how can they still be doing a public workout? Like, it didn't make sense to me, the whole thing. So I guess these guys are going to have to explain themselves. Are we going to see another situation? And I'll put this out to all you guys. Hold on. Before that, my show, you know, dollars make sense around here. Big up my show for the $5. He said, why is the BBBOC, which is the British Boxing Board of Control for those that don't know, an independent private company? Why isn't boxing governed by a government authority like the New York State Athletic Commission? Salute from NYC. I think this is a conversation that has been spoken about for a long time, you know, and until it gets more serious, it is what it is. It is what it is. And, you know, we have to try to navigate, you know, listen, it's hard to listen to someone who hasn't got no money. The people with the money, the people with the power, they have to really listen to the people, the peoples, and make the right decisions for boxing to be governed. But I think even the people in government don't even want boxing to take place. So there's a lot of things surrounding that particular question.
Sorry, Ton, that is an excellent question, simply because boxing in the UK is tolerated and not legislated.
Yes.
If it was legislated, it'd be different. And you're right when you're saying, oh, well, maybe the powers that be are people who are in government, but they could take a vote on it, because how boxing is changing, and the best time to try and get boxing legislated right now would be when we've got the Mayor of London in Mr. Khan, because his brother runs Earlfield Boxing Gym.
Yes.
He's very affiliated with boxing, so he knows the benefits of the sport. So someone like he, and many times he's spoken at the British Board of Control, sports writers, and the sports writers dinners. He's been the guest speaker. So maybe that could be something that we looked at. Or what we need is a lot of fuel injection of money for someone to come in and like to turn this like a FIFA, where it can be properly regulated and governed. Because there's too many pitfalls in, you know, remember Oscar Valdez the other day?
Yes.
It was disgusting.
They allowed him to fight.
Exactly, right? So something needs to be done, and something needs to be done on a major stage to fix this calamity.
Okay, question to the people, to the audience. Anybody can answer. Sugarway29, thank you for the £10 donation, sir. He said, what is the way forward, gentlemen, from this positive drugs test? Should drug testing be compulsory and all drug testing bodies be recognized? There is drugs in all sports that eventually comes out. I'll put that out to the panel.
Oh, I've just got a quick question. Why do boxers have to take something now?
I think that could be like a moral question. I think me personally, they don't believe in themselves. They just don't believe in themselves. And they just feel that they need to cheat, you know, and cheating, I've just, you know, listen, it's horses for courses. I would like to think that it's competition. And, you know, you win some, you lose some. I just, as CHRIS Van Heerden said, boxing is a sport, but he didn't use these particular words, but I will use them, where the primary objective is to render your opponent unconscious. Let's get it right. That's the primary objective. So now you're telling me I'm going into this sport trying to better the lives of myself and my family, thinking that I'm going in against equal opposition. And now this brother is cheating, drugs, looking to do me damage. That ain't right. That ain't right. And I could just put it down to, you just don't believe in yourself. You don't believe in the hard work, the graft, and what comes with it. But, you know, listen, the good thing is that the spotlight is being shone on anyone who cheats. And I say anyone, I'm not putting no specific name, but we now have a situation where the spotlight and everybody, certain people's running for the hills. Man's all posting Insta stories showing their drug testing. So it's good. It's good because now, you know, it's going to make people think again, twice, 3 times. Listen, the spotlight's on, so let's don't take this drug. I hope they don't take the drugs. Daniel, anything to say further?
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. What I wanted to talk about is the seriousness of you guys talking about unfortunate fatalities in boxing. Just on Thursday night, junior welterweight prospect Luis Quinones died on Thursday after spending 5 days in a coma. He was 25 years old. He lost to Jose Munoz in Colombia. So it just shows you that this sport, we could potentially have ended up having 2 tragedies. And what it goes to show, as Spencer and yourself, Tunde, are both licensed British Boxing Board of Control trainers, it shows in the manual handbook, protect the fighter. So with EUBANK's trainer knowing what the findings were coming out and still saying, yeah, it's cool runnings to let Chris fight, it says in the handbook when you read it, before you got to go through your exam and pass your test, protect your fighter. And letting him deplete himself. I saw a picture today with him doing a pose, and he just looked absolutely finished. I don't know how you would even let a fighter like that walk into a ring at literally, he looked 60%, with a man who was trying to go into the ring 160%.
Yes, sir.
Bentez, come on, thank you for the £5, Bentez. He states, Mr. EUBANK Senior was right many years ago when he said Ben Senior should be more involved at the start. I hope they don't try to blame the doctor. What do you mean you hope they don't? I'm blaming him, bro. Like they hope. I'm blaming the doctor.
So can I make one point?
Go ahead.
If I can make one point quickly still. We need stringent testing for all bouts. And I mean, even those bouts that a lot of us boxing fans don't respect, like these influencers, because they're the sort of people who will steal the headlines. And like it or not, they make a lot of money.
Yes.
You know, I don't know who the biggest ones are. It's probably Jake Paul, and I don't know who's the biggest. KSI. So let's say they made Jake Paul versus KSI, and Caller's in charge of a show, and he gets one of these VADA things. You know, what's he going to do? Is he going to pull that show based on this? You know, or is he going to have a conversation with these people and try and keep the thing running? You know, and like I'm saying, people who take the sport seriously from day one, the nutrition seriously. I'm not talking about a couple of influencers enter a camp. They're the people who are going to hurt each other and steal the headlines very quickly. Boxing's always been there trying to defend itself, trying to keep its place at Olympics, you know, trying to keep gyms open and such. We don't really need these bad headlines. We just need to get on top of things and show everybody that we're handling the thing correctly, you know. So we need that stringent testing for all bats. It's not just professional bats.
I mean, again, we have to make it clear that boxing is not the only sport where drugs is rife. I mean, we had the situation with Lance Armstrong where he denied it for years that he weren't taking drugs, and then when we come back, he said, "You know what, fam? I was taking drugs." You know what I'm saying? So, it ain't like it's some new thing to boxing alone. Many other sports, there has been cases upon cases where, and as I said at the top of the show, this is a show which it's 50-50 with me. The reason we have to do it is because we've got a relationship with the public to talk about current events in boxing. But it's just one of these things where we're going to have to, hope that, not sweep it under the carpet. I think that there needs to be a lot of continued regulations and testing done to protect our sport. But for now, I feel that we've saved not only the fighters, but the parents from anguish.
Could I just say one thing?
Yes, go ahead, Joe.
I was watching the doctors. I don't know how many of you guys saw it. The doctors, their interview, and he was basically explaining how you cheat.
Mad.
In this interview. Now, for me, growing up, I come into boxing. I was 4 years old. Sat down with my dad, watching Rumble in the Jungle. Yeah, that's my first experience of boxing. And for me, growing up, the heavyweight champion of the world was always a pinnacle. It was almost like that would almost be headlines on the news when it was a fight. Now,
October 30th, 1974.
There you go. There you go. Spencer, you know. But my thing was, my concern is that I saw Tyson Fury's interview yesterday where he said he works with his doctor. And this doctor will continue to be in his corner in every fight. Now, for me, wouldn't you want to distance yourself from something like that? Because if you've got the heavyweight champion of the world basically endorsing this doctor, what does it say? Can you hear me?
Ton, you're muted. You're muted, Ton.
Sorry.
Quiet there.
I just don't understand that. How the heavyweight champion of the world can go on and say, I'm going to continue to be working with his doctor. I mean, what do you guys think?
Can I just jump in on that one?
Go on.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys saw, I think it was about, Spence, you might know exactly when the date was, but I think it was just before the Klitschko fight. Fury was talking about how drugs should be legalized in boxing because it's the future. So I think his stance at that time was very clear, and I don't imagine how his stance is any different today. So him endorsing that doctor is in keeping with what he was saying at that time, and that was before all these mental health, everything. So that it doesn't surprise me at all. And the other thing I was going to say was that I think with Conor Benn, I imagine it's going to be very difficult for the public to accept any type of reasoning to explain away the positive result. I think hiding the B test and saying there's some technicality around the B test, that's not going to work. I think if he was to say something around, his wife and trying to have a baby, and somehow he accidentally ingested it somehow, I don't think that's going to work. I don't see any reasoning. I don't see any reasoning working out.
Sorry to cut you.
Yeah, go ahead.
The wife went in the camp.
No, the way, yeah, well, there you go. So there you go. But you know, the point I'm going to is really that I think with Conor Benn, what he's got on his side is that he grew up with faith. He grew up believing in God, and I think when he's on his own in his thoughts, I think something he must be considering is just telling the truth. And I hope he can come out and be honest and tell the truth. I find it hard to believe how you can have a doctor in your camp who's known for testosterone replacement therapy and say, well, that person is, you know, just checking I'm all right. I mean, it looks very clear and obvious to most people, I think you guys included. Maybe you can't say so blatantly, but I think it is very obvious. He'd have to be extremely naive to have that doctor in his camp who has said the things that he said, and we know his history, and then say, oh, I didn't know. I think if he was to come clean, for me personally anyway, I would be very I would take that as someone who's being courageous and honest, and I would be forgiven, and I think a lot of people would be forgiven.
Yes, sir. And I actually extended my hand out to Conor to come on the show this evening, but I just, I can just imagine that not only from a legal standpoint, but just people around him just telling him don't talk. Because one of the things where let's get right, I'm not defending anyone, but I'm sure he was told not to speak at that workout, and he said, no, I want to talk. Because he's, I don't want to play like I know what's in his head, but he's probably saying, bro, these men are talking about drugs. I never took no drugs. So you're right. I believe he needs to come out and talk his truth. I remember Beyonce saying years ago that the truth always remains. The lies will come out. So, listen, I think this whole situation has stained Conor, unfortunately, and whatever he does moving forward and what he's done before is now going to be put under question, because, as CHRIS Van Heerden said, Spencer Fearon said, there has never been a case in boxing where the B sample has come back different. Never. So there's some explaining that needs to be done very, very quickly. And Russell, can I just say you're moving like Spencer? Fam, you've been watching the show too much, bro. You're moving like Spencer, stuffing up your face in the show live. No regard for anyone. But it's all right.
Thank you for £10.
It is bad manners.
It's cool.
Very big up El Cortez here, who has just paid in £10 for Ben to be using PEDs so brazenly in front of this magnitude. It speaks volumes on how prevalent it may potentially be in the sport. Scary times.
Another great comment. It is very, very scary. And what's even more scary, that the parties involved wanted this fight to go on. It was talking about Luxembourg license. I mean, I heard you say that on Fight Fan TV about this Luxembourg license thing, which again would have been a travesty. I could never see that happening, because I know some people was talking about Chisora and Hay, but in that case, drugs was not the issue. None of them
it was madman behavior that was.
Yeah, none of them had failed no drugs test. So you couldn't even use that as something to relate back to. And that would have been, again, another travesty, allowing something that's clearly been made public to everybody. We still don't know the full facts on this case. What we're, and which is again why we on the Fight Is Right have not spoken on it until our Sunday show. We just let everything and everybody talk on it, and we still wait for more light to come on this case. More light. We just need more light. But I do feel it for these young men who are about to fight. and potentially damage each other. You know, and if there was drugs involved, unknowingly or knowingly, it still wouldn't have been a good look. And thank God the British Boxing Board of Control just prohibited this contest taking place. Any more from you guys?
Tunde, I just want to ask, you know, the Boxing Board of Control,
yes,
were they made aware of this failed sample in back in September?
September,
Yes.
yeah, and when
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, and they
they've
actually
only responded once that Daily Mail article has come to life, isn't it, really? Because we didn't sort of hear anything of it. They've gone into the final week of the promotion and stuff.
Well, I'm not
so
sure
it's
that,
it'll be I think they need to come out and sort of.
No, but I'm not sure about that. But what I'm led to believe is because from a Matt Christie post, it actually stated, but I didn't see the date on it. I didn't look at it. Spencer sent it to me that the board actually sent out a letter saying they were prohibiting, but it would actually made public when Matt Christie actually said. So I don't know. Maybe the board did notify all the parties as soon as they were informed by VADA. You know, again, we're touching areas where we don't actually know the full story.
Yeah, we don't know the full details.
Yeah, we don't.
I think it's a shame for boxers as well now in general, because like you can't tarnish everyone with the same brush. Do you know what I mean? They're dedicating themselves. They're training so hard, and the last thing we want. I think Johnny said a good point I think it was Johnny last week on the show when he says, you know, like boxing is there before all the great promoters and, you know, the names like before Eddie and everyone like that, and it'll be there after them as well. And it's important that they protect the sport as well in you know, to a degree, because what we don't want is like, you know, if somebody knocks somebody out now with a great shot or something like that, and everyone's like, oh, he's probably doing this or he's doing. I think that's where, you know, we have to be careful. And I just hope that, because it's very difficult, it's very easy for us to say there should be VADA testing and all this, but I imagine that there's a lot of cost involved in that, and the smaller sort of small hall shows and stuff like that, it's probably not.
Yeah, so Karen, finish what you saying.
Yeah, I think the smaller hall shows and stuff, it's probably just not financially possible, you know, to be doing such, you know, high degree of testing.
Yes.
When, you know, some of these shows, people are making losses as it is. And I mean, Spencer's promoted and stuff, so he'll know of the sort of financials and the P&Ls and stuff of a show.
Very true.
So to add on top of that.
Ask Kenny Wright. My show's always jam.
I was asked by somebody via my phone, so I'll ask the question. They said if the board notified everybody, why was the public workout on the morning? Why was the public workout still allowed to continue?
I'll tell you why. Because the board knew from the 23rd of September, but they don't recognize VADA. That's the problem. It's just like when Billy Joe Saunders got caught with the nose thing. They said that they're not suspending Billy Joe, just like they said they're not suspending Conor. So it was only the Boston, Massachusetts commission that said that gave Billy Joe a ban. And Eddie Hearn's alluding to, when they're talking about 4-year ban for Conor, he said that the British board, because they've not suspended Conor now, they can't put him on a ban. So all what's going to happen is he'll just get wiped off the WBC rankings, and he won't be able to box in America because no commission out there will give him a license because of the VADA. But via UCAD, which is associated with the British Boxing Board of Control, he'll be able to box over here. Fine.
Felix is Negus. Thank you for the £5. He said, press the button, guys. Like, share. What a brilliant show. Keep up the good work, Spencer and Tunde. Thank you so much, brother. I mean, listen, it's Sunday. We got work tomorrow, lads. Well, I've got work. We actually could go on talking. This is such an interesting and intriguing topic that we could go on forever. But we're going to have to wrap it up. Ladies and gentlemen, let me just thank you who are on the live now personally. SS10, thank you, brother, for being with us tonight. Deji, Chanel, thank you.
Peace.
Live from, where are you, Birmingham?
Yeah, man.
Birmingham in the bedroom, Rolling up, bruv. Man, bruv, you look cozy, fam.
Oh, yeah.
And this is what I love. This is the realness. I just love it. And I thank you so much for your presence and patience tonight, D. And please keep supporting us, and myself and Spencer and Gary, the man behind the cam. Thank you. Big up Russell, Mr. Russell Morgan, Spencer Fearon, type 2, namming on the show. Very, very articulate brother. What's your day job, bro?
I'm a teacher.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The way you speak is very, very clear, precise, and thank you. You're saying you're the first
you guys.
You've joined on any podcast, so I really respect that again. Thank you for the words that you said about Spencer and myself as well, and keep tuning in, bro.
Yeah, man. From the beginning, I've been on it from the beginning.
Yes, sir.
Love, my friend.
Well, man, let's talk about Goose Green. You know the set, bro. Man's foundation.
Yeah, I've seen you in the Cafe Nero, but you were some hench brothers. So I thought, you know what, let you do your thing.
Come on, yeah, man. Know about the Cafe Nero. I'm always in there with a laptop. But yeah, thank you, bro. Again, Mr. the one and only, someone who's become a great friend. Speak privately and in public. A beautiful human being, a very, very supportive man. Man's been buying the merchandise, the stamina so measure from the get-go. Man's putting his money where his mouth is, and just a wonderful, wonderful human being, Mr. Bobby Wright. Thank you for joining us tonight, sir.
No, he's not.
Big up your daughter.
Yeah,
I know she's a great fan as well. Hope she's in bed. Don't keep her up late, mate.
Telford anyway on the 19th of November.
Yes, sir. The one and only Danny Glover, Fight Fair TV. But we need to come up with a logo, bro. You know, like me shows you, Fight Fair TV. You know, what did you say? Fight Fair.
Hello, fight fans.
I know, yeah.
Welcome, fight fans.
We need to come up with a Roadman one, bro, because we're not no American chick from. We need to come up with a road one. But anyway, Danny, you know you're the man. A man that I know personally loves the sport of boxing. From the Lynn days, from back in the Lynn days, when we was all coming up, just loving the sport. Man would just come the Lynn Boxing Club in jeans and trainers and start sparring. No warm-up.
No, but big you up because you've been my trainer, a mentor, elder for me. You know, used to train me from Peckham in the bodybuilder gym to the Fight Factory to Peacock, running upstairs in Catford in them block towers, Sydenham run around Gypsy Hill. You know what I mean? Always showed me love. And mentored me and like many other fighters. You know, I remember when you went out to Germany for the Derek Chisora Vitaly Klitschko fight. People think you've only just come into this thing the other day, but you've been in this from time. And you know, I respect everything you do. As you said, you're in the Lynn. You'll see your poster there, the pictures of you there. Spencer Fearon, a former Lynn man as well. So it's all love, man.
Listen, Ben Oldham. We haven't seen you for a hot minute, and he's just saying, good evening, everyone. Been away for a while. My brother has been ill. UCAD should test his B sample for the fertility drug. And you know what? Ben Oldham, I pray your brother's speedy recovery. You know what I mean? I pray for your brother's speedy recovery. And I pray prosperity and wealth over your household, my friend.
Yes, sir. I did wonder why, Ben, because we've been talking. I just thought leave it for a while, but I'm glad you've actually commented tonight, Ben, because it's good to know that you're back. And please reassemble the Snapchat money. You don't have to bust a joke, Ben, just to bring up the spirits, mate. Because you know this ain't no dead show. But Ben, we missed your £100 Snapchats, bro. Come on, man. We need some contributions. But Ben, I tell you, I know he wouldn't like me to say, but the help that this guy has offered to give The Fight Is Right is
Come on,
immense.
nuts. It's nuts.
Immense.
Absolutely, brother.
I actually don't want to talk about it
But
because
then don't talk.
it's so big. But Ben, as Spencer said, wished your brother a speedy recovery, and it's good to see you back, bro. And send my regards to your wife.
Sorry,
ladies and gentlemen, bro, this has been emotional, but I'm glad that we're finishing up on a high. And I think we should do more of this, Spence, because there are many people that wanna talk, have a say.
I think this was the right time to have, because I remember like in the beginning days we used to do this quite regularly when big fights would come on, we'd get loads of people on. I remember like 30 people on at one time to give their opinion on the fights. So, you know what I mean? I think the last time we did it was for Tank. When
we was in lockdown the last time we had
yeah. So, you know what I mean? It's good that we can be here and give people opportunity to jump on and stuff like that. But remember, like, it's weird that all these people who are on here, they're not just some also ran. They become very close people to you, and they become part of the Fight Is Right family. And I appreciate every single person for jumping on there. And that's a God's honest truth. But we've gone past the 2-hour mark. I want the show to finish in an hour, you know. Right, but Tunde would say, nah, because earlier Tunde said, let's get the other people on to get their opinion, because we don't want to be an instigator to say, like, this man's guilty or this man's innocent. We're trying to keep impartial. Impartial. And the reason why we are trying to keep impartial, because, you know what I mean, what does it say? If you live in glass houses, don't throw stones. I must live in a mansion that's a glass house. So I don't want to cast aspersion on no one, especially on someone who's your friend. But like I said, whatever it is, let truth and justice reign over all. And that's on my last bit here. But what I have realized is, like, everybody is throwing down this youth right now. Yes. And like CHRIS Van Heerden said, this mental health thing is serious. Right? So, off of that, but, you know what I mean, I've spoken about this enough. So on that, I want to thank every single person for being on there. Tunde likes to end the show with his powerful slogan.
Come on. Yeah, bro. I'm happy. It's been a great show, people. Great seeing all you beautiful faces this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, we wrap up tonight's Sunday service with Pastor Tunde and Reverend Fearon. Dream it, believe it, become it.
Come on down. Big up every single person who jumped on the live. Big up every single person who left a comment. Big up every single person that left some Snapchat monies for us. Big up every person who subscribed to us. Remember to keep it. The Fight Is Right. And this week, I think it's the anniversary of when Dennis Andrews became the WBA, the WBC light heavyweight champion of the world, when he beat JB Williamson, I believe so. So I'm going to get the great Dennis Andrews, the 3-time light heavyweight champion of the world. A man who's quietly back in the background now, but I know Danny Wright remembers this tough man. I'm going to speak to him, hopefully, and bless up every single person for jumping on the show. Peace, fingers. I'm out.
Hey, Russell, bro, you are never gonna live down the fact that you was chewing on the show, fam.
Listen, bro, Spencer's the instigator.
Bro,
Spencer's
like you become a meme already. You become a meme already. You become a Spencer meme. You were not supposed to be on the show live. You know this is going out to thousands watching now, more thousands watching later.
Well, that's it. I'll take the blessings as they come.
Yes,
sir.
I saw Tunde's face go, oh, he's doing it.
No, but
ladies and gentlemen, thank you, everyone. Let's wrap it up, Spence. Wow, this is a great show. Thank you again, everyone. Good night and God bless.
Peace.